I can't hear you. You're muted or something?
I'm talking with Cheyenne. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Cheyenne, it's your too. Cheyenne's house.
Thanks for coming. You guys are the only ones tonight. I can't tell if anyone else is coming, so.
Well, at least I brought Cheyenne, so it's two of us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yesterday was like 4 or something, huh? 4 or 5.
Yeah, and you know, there's more people than that. They just never come all at once.
Yeah, I think more people will probably come on.
Okay, let's sit down then. I think it's time.
Turn that light off behind us, huh? That looks really bright.
Right. When was the last time you did yoga? Like, seriously?
Oh my God. It's been a while, so I might be a bit creaky.
Okay, don't.
You guys at Cheyenne's house?
Yeah, don't. If possible, yeah, you always ask for like what we wish. Maybe not too strong.
Oh, okay. So more relaxing.
Well, not necessarily relaxing either, but just for Cheyenne hasn't done yoga in a while, you know, like something like I still want to do a workout, and you too, huh?
And I can always pause.
Pretty easy. If it's just you two, I can see you do everything, so I'll know, you know?
Okay.
And if I start to, you know, have a moment, I'll just self-care and pause and then catch you again.
Always do that in yoga anyway. You should always modify. Yeah, never do anything that hurts, for sure. And if there's, sometimes I forget to explain that people can always use bolsters and different props if they need them instead of doing the whole thing all the way out.
Okay, so, we're gonna mute ourselves, okay?
Yeah. We'll start in Indian position. And we'll just come up breathing in And down, breathing out. I always start with breathing, Shanna, so. And we can, I just learned even more things about the benefits of Ujjayi breathing. So if you want to try Ujjayi breathing with me, you're making a constriction in your glottis so that you make a sound. So you've probably both done that before, so you just make a little sound. It doesn't have to be a really loud sound. And it sends you into your parasympathetic system so that you are in rest and digest. It also actually slows down your breathing and extends your breathing and then slows down your heartbeat. So, okay, let's take our hands here and we're gonna breathe out as the arm goes out and then breathe in as it comes in. So this is a Tai Chi exercise for constipation actually. And I find it really useful just to calm down the whole system. And you can do it with Ujjayi breathing if you want, or however you want to do it. And then we'll take our thumbs up and put them up and try to keep your shoulders down. And we'll take a deep breath as fast as you can and then let it out as slowly as possible. So. And one more. We'll do a little bit of alternate nostril breathing. I always do a lot of breathing to begin with because it's all of our oxygen flowing. And breathing in on one nostril and then breathing out on the next one. So breathing in. And then out. And then breathing in on that same nostril. And then out. And this integrates the two sides of your brain. Also calms the nervous system down. Go ahead and find a place where you feel like both nostrils have been equally used. And then go ahead and just slowly and quietly breathe. And we will go to one side. You can let your arm just come up to the ceiling. And then you can stretch it all the way over if you want. Keeping the buttocks on the ground. And then when you are ready, going to the other side. So always do shorter amounts of things if you need to, or even longer amounts of things if you need to. I'm always fine with people being at a different pace than me. My music is fine. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Okay, we're going to come to tabletop. And then we will cat cow. So you can breathe out in your cow and breathe in your cat. Your wrists are underneath your shoulders. This is an 80s song, so it kind of makes me think all of our hair should be down so we could like do some, you know, like hair, some hair motion around. So let's do a little around with our head too. And then go ahead and C-curve, like look at your butt. And go the other way. And then you can do a little hula, just moving the hips around. Okay, let's go to the side first, right? With one leg, and we will go over to the other side with our arm into rainbow and take a deep breath. And then let that arm kind of bring you up. Take another breath and stretch towards your leg. Song is from Flashdance. I remember it from when I was a kid. We're gonna come down and lift that leg up into half moon. Looking up, make sure your arm doesn't go crazy. You have a nice low shoulder. Keep breathing. And then bring that leg all the way in. Bring the arm, let the arm bring your body up. And find a child's pose. If you want, you can keep your toes down, or you can put your feet down. It's up to you. I'm getting a little bit of a stretch in my feet. And then we will roll up slowly. And I'm in an activated thunderbolt. I guess that's what they call it, with my toes down. I'm going to take a deep breath looking ahead with a drishti. This pose actually activates your digestive system. And then we will go ahead and come back up and do our other leg. Find your rainbow. Try to go straight to the side if you can and keep yourself in a toaster oven slot. And then bringing that arm up, letting the shoulder be down, but looking up, you can bring your foot up into half moon, pointing your toe towards the computer. Try to keep your hips kind of straight instead of like moving this way or that way. And breathe. And when you can't take it anymore, gracefully float down and come back in. And we will find a rabbit pose this time. This is partially, I always explain that my neck is very, very stiff, so I like to do a lot of neck stuff. So I'm going to take my head down and I'm going to put some of my weight on my head and leave a lot of it on my knees and take my hands back to my feet. And I'm like hiding in a rabbit hole. Take 3 deep breaths.
Hey, Hillary.
Yeah?
Hey, can you show us from the side, because I never know if I'm doing this pose right.
Yeah. I'm glad you asked, actually, because I'm always like, well, I'll just do it and assume they know what it is, but sometimes people don't. So I'm glad you spoke up. So you're like, your knees are underneath your shoulders, and then you can have your toes up like this. But you're going for like, it's kind of like a headstand, but your hands are going to your feet, and a lot of your weight is still on your knees. So it feels safer than a headstand. You're kind of trying to keep your butt up over your knees if you can. It's a little bit intimidating the first couple times you do it. But after that, you get really used to it. It's no big deal anymore. Just keep breathing.
Now you can ask.
Are you resting mainly on the top of your head, or does it start to roll towards the back of your head a little bit? Well, that is subjective. That's up to you. You know, I like to roll it a little bit just because of my neck, but that's also because I have a really strong neck as far as like I do headstands and everything. So if you don't do headstands, you have to be more careful. Some of your weight should still be on your knees for sure. Yeah, totally. I think actually you could, Cheyenne, I think you could bring your head up even a little more towards your knees maybe. And I think Katrine, you could actually bring your butt up over your knees more, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's kind of, that's good. And we're gonna roll it back up to Thunderbolt. So just roll your spinal cord back up slowly. And we'll do a little yoga neck roll. You just go down and around and look to the side. You actually don't go all the way. My yoga teacher has a whole explanation for this, but I also do it the other way too. Okay. And let's find our first downward facing dog if you want. So you can make sure that your hands are actually, you can actually spread them out really far if you want to. And some people like to do it, I do it on my finger pad sometimes. You can also do it on your wrists. I mean on your fists if you can't deal with the wrist flexion. But you're trying to push back so that your heels are going down into your mat, of course. Most people know this one. And we're gonna walk our dog out. So just bend and straighten each leg one at a time. Then we're gonna do a little swing coming forward into plank. And that isn't always the most comfortable. Like I have to change my arms sometimes. And then I find a place that's comfortable in plank. And then I just come back again to the downward facing dog. So you can breathe while you're going. Try to make a straight line facing the floor when you're in plank. And then you're pushing all the way back into your heels when you're in downward facing dog. This should be getting you a little bit warmer, actually. And then find a plank for a second. See if you can lift a leg behind you and put it down. And lift the other leg and put it down. And then you can put your knees down. And we'll come to a puppy pose for a second. You're just gonna stretch your hands out like child's pose, but your knees are up more like you were in rabbit more. And we'll come back to tabletop.
I don't know about that one either.
Puppy pose, yeah, it's bizarre, but you're kind of keeping, you're keeping this 90 degree angle, right? And then you're going down like this. So it's different than child's pose because child's pose is down. but you do get a different stretch in your back. One. And let's even stretch it out more. Let's take it to one side. And then to the other side. And then walk yourself slowly back to tabletop when you're ready. Okay, and we'll take one leg back and stretch the hamstring. Taking a deep breath, we'll raise that heel up so that your head is in a straight line with your heel. And then we're going to take our opposite arm up slowly into Surya Charya. And just take 3 breaths. And when you're ready, go ahead and put those legs down. And we will slide forward. Oh, since we've been doing weird poses, let's do this one too. Katrine, this is her favorite one. You're gonna slide forward into 8-point bow, so your boobs go down, your butt stays up. You've got your toes on the floor, and your chin goes on the floor too. So stretch.
Can't even reach the floor.
Take your arms in though. Sorry, your hands are underneath your shoulders, like how you are in crow. Really funny. Your butt's up in the air. It really activates your thyroid. And then you can slide forward all the way and push up into Sphinx. So your elbows are underneath your shoulders, and you can take your head to the side and breathe. And then take your head to the other side and breathe.
I haven't done yoga since Pam was born.
And then we will take our head down and put our forehead on the ground for a second. Pituitary gland activation. Take your hands and put them underneath your shoulders. And then push up to Cobra, breathing, and push back down to the floor again. So 3 times. Breathing, warming up those arms. Good job, guys. And find a Cobra at the end of that, and it can be as small as you want it to be. Keep breathing. And then we will come back up into tabletop, and then go from there to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath. Go ahead and lift one leg up, all the way up to 3-legged dog 3 times. So bring it down, keep breathing slowly as you go. And back up. And when you're done with one leg, you can do the other one. Keep breathing. I always forget how many I've done. And then we're going to put our knees down from here, actually, and come up to our hands on our hips. Taking a deep breath. Take your hands and massage your kidneys for a second. Your kidneys are by your sacral, and they need warmth usually. So there's a whole Chinese medicine thing about it. But keep your hands on your kidneys for a second, and then take the toes back up, and they should be your knees right underneath your shoulders, and you're gonna come backwards, breathing in, and then forwards, breathing out into a little curve. And I would say do this about 3 to 5 times. The Tibetan right, actually. And then we will do another Tibetan right since we started doing that one. We'll sit down on our buttocks. Take a deep breath. And then you can stretch towards your feet for a second. Just to get this area warm. And then we will bring ourselves slowly back so our hands are underneath our shoulders. And we're gonna rotate up to reverse tabletop, breathing in, and then breathing out, coming down. So it becomes a swing that really increases energy. Getting that butt up. Seeing if you can do that about 5 times. And then when you are done, nice. You can have a little moment of staying in that reverse tabletop if you want. Let's come up to navel gazing pose for a second. And just see if you can make a straight line with your, it's like a reverse plank. Your toes are down and you're looking at your navel. Still breathing. Keeping that chin in. And coming back down when you're ready. And we'll do a little roll down into very brief Shavasana for a second. Because we're going to use our abs. Put our arms up behind our head and flex our feet. This is another Tibetan right. So you're going to bring your arms up and your feet up. And then your arms come all the way to here. So I can do it up to the side too. So you guys can see it. So you're like this. So it's like a sit-up, but it's a little bit more extensive. You're just going to do it about 3 to 5 times. Get some warmth in the abdominals. Keep breathing.
It's the abs, it's like the legs lifting. I'm like, oh God.
You can totally do it. Good job, girls. And go ahead and have a moment of rest on your back when you're done. And then we will take our neck, just put your hands behind it and lift it up for a sec in a little half sit up. But it also is a nice stretch for the neck. Take a deep breath and then see if you can sit up further until you are sitting all the way up. Okay, I'm gonna put, since I'm doing all these swings, I'm gonna put my hands, underneath my knees. Everybody knows this is like one of my favorite things to do the rock and roll. You go back and forward. And nice job. It should feel like a massage. Keep breathing. And then the next time we go ahead and hug your knees for a second and see if you can create a nice straight spine and take a deep breath. We're gonna go into plow next. So just like what you were doing already, but you're just trying to get your legs straight. And it is a stretch for the neck, so don't do more than feels okay. It should always feel a little uncomfortable, but not painful. So you're gonna go back, and I can do it to the side too here. Back, and you can go here with your arms, or here, or you could go back here with your arms. It's up to you. Try to get those legs straight. Keep breathing. And if you'd like to come down by going through shoulders down, you just kick one leg up and let the other leg follow really slowly. I would recommend supporting your back if you're not used to doing this and making it pretty gentle on yourself, and then not staying up there for a really long time, but kind of slowly coming down one vertebrae at a time. And then we can slap our feet on the floor one at a time. Get your nerve endings. It's kind of therapeutic too, I think. And take your arms and put them down by your side so you can touch your heels. Your toes should be going straight forward, and your knees should be at the same width as your shoulders. And you're just gonna roll up into a little half bridge. And definitely don't do it if it hurts, so you can always stay at a lower level if it hurts. So take a deep breath. This is a really good one for your lower back. And the legs too. And you can roll down slowly. And you can come back up if you want to. If you feel like that's enough, you can stay there and hug your knees. Taking a deep breath wherever you are. And then we will meet back in the knee hug on our back when you're ready. And we are going to let our head fall to one side slowly, and then let the body follow it. So we're going to slowly let the head lead and roll to side. And this helps integrate the brain also. This is another fun one. Keep breathing. And see if you can make it even on both sides. I really usually forget where I started, but we're gonna go ahead and find one of those legs straightening down and the other knee hugging up to your chest. And then you can take a deep breath and take it across your body into a twist if you like, trying to keep that shoulder on the ground, but also, like I said before, no pain, just a little discomfort is good. And then you should have taken 3 deep breaths. And then you're going to take your knee back up to your chest slowly. And then straighten that leg out and just use your arm to help support it. And then bring that leg over to like underneath your armpit to the side, so you should be turned out now, but keep your butt on the floor, so only as far as you can go comfortably. Taking a deep breath, and then let it slide back down to the other leg. You can stretch your hands and feet away from each other for a second. And take the other knee up to the chest. And then take that knee across into a twist, keeping the other shoulder down. and looking towards that hand that's down the ground. Trying to keep the straight leg also pretty straight if possible. Keep breathing. And then you can slowly lift that knee up and bring it back around to your chest, bringing the body back onto the floor. And straightening the leg up slowly, using your hand to help support it. You can point and flex your toes, both of them actually, if you want to. And then take that leg out to the side to the turned out position, but still supporting it so that it doesn't hurt. Keeping the tailbone on the floor and breathing. And then letting it slide down slowly back to the other leg. And taking the feet up just into tranquility pose so that they're just straight up to the ceiling. Flex them and point them. Ooh, my ankles are cracking today. And then go ahead and bend those legs and bring the upper body up, bringing the head up until you are sitting up, keeping those legs up into boat. Stretching forward, keeping your chest up, looking up at the ceiling with your back nice and straight if possible. Keep breathing. Good job, ladies. See if you can straighten your legs up for a second. Keeping that back straight and coming back up into Baddha Konasana. You can push your feet together and hold on to your big toes and see if your knees will kind of fall nice and down to the ground with gravity, keeping the spine straight and the back of the head is pulling up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath. And go ahead and let yourself come forward as much as is comfortable in a stretch over. And then you can push your hands out if you want and find a flat back for a second, like a straighter spine where you're not quite as far over, but you're looking at the floor still and your chin is tucked in. And then you can sit up slowly and move your hands around to the back behind you and just have a little back bend. Looking up to the ceiling, breathing through the front of your throat. And we will come back up to sitting. We're going to take our hands and roll our wrists around. I like to do this one. It's another place where I have an injury, so of course I always make sure I do these. But that one feels good. And then you can take your hands underneath your knees and push your legs up into flower pose if you want. It's pretty fun once you find the balance point. But yeah, good job. You're doing it. Taking a deep breath. It's not as hard as it looks, huh? And when you are ready, you can come back down. And taking the knees back up, I'm gonna move my body back onto my feet in a squat so that I'm stretching my Achilles tendons back here. So we're stretching that back of our heel and we're gonna allow the top of the body, like the shoulders and head, to relax and really get like the most stretch possible.
heels on the floor?
No, mine aren't because I actually can't get my heels on the floor that easy. Maybe some people's can, but I'm stretching this whole area right here. And it's just like really nice for the upper body too, I think. But you're definitely not like, you're not like trying to sit back necessarily. That's a whole thing you could do, but. And then we will slowly stand up into forward fold. And you can grab your elbows if you want and swing side to side. And you can swing front and back and say yes and no with your head. And then roll the spine up slowly, making sure not to lock the knees. You're feeling one vertebrae at a time. And we will be rolling all the way back up into Tadasana. Yeah. Nice. Okay, go ahead and take your hands to the side and up, breathing in. And I'm gonna see if I can, see if you can see me still. Breathing in and little back bend, looking up, breathing through the front of your throat, bringing the hands down to Anjali Mudra. Looking forward, you can close your eyes for a second and just feel what it feels like to stand up with your eyes closed and what, if there's weight on every part of your foot. Are you centered on your foot? Because if you're in the right kind of toes forward, Tadasana stance, you should be very, very stable here. And then we will open our eyes slowly and take the arms out, bending the knees a little bit, do a little Tai Chi back and forth swing. Excellent. Okay, let's come forward with the hands, take a deep breath, and sit down a little bit. So bending those knees, make sure you can pick your toes up if you need to, and you're sitting back with the butt, so you are in chair pose. You're keeping your spine straight, you're trying to keep your shoulders down. And you can bring the arms up if you want, or you can keep them forward, or you can bring them back to Anjali Mudra. We can do that actually if you want right now. Take a deep breath and then stand up into a forward fold with a flat back. So we're just over enough that our back is flat. We're breathing and then we're gonna sit back down into chair pose. And make sure that you are straighten your spine enough that it's not hurting your lower back here. Good job. Okay, we're gonna take it to the side for a sec. You can either come here to this twist with your arms out, or you can try to come down to the knees like me by doing Anjali Mudra and coming down into a twist, breathing. Even if you're down here, you're gonna come back up through this twist here and come back to chair from here. And then let the arms come down, let the legs straighten into Tadasana. Oh, we lost you. Okay. Hi guys. It was so funny because it was right as I was coming up, you know, and we were coming back to Dawson, and so it was fine. And then I went and got a couple text messages, and it was the same as when you guys first came on. I came right down, looked at the computer right before you came on. Both times. I was like, hey, Katrine, there she is. Hey, look at that forward fold. Nice. Okay. So let's come back to wherever we were. And if you want to do forward fold more, that is always fine. Sometimes just forward fold can solve a lot of problems for me. Okay, so eventually we will meet back into Tadasana and we will come back into a little back bend and let the hands come down to Anjali Mudra. Taking a deep breath. And then coming forward into chair pose again. Taking 3 deep breaths. And then opening out to one side. And you can stay here if you want. Or you can come into Anjali Mudra again and come down into the other twist. Keep breathing. Either way, you're going to come out of it back to this twist again. Coming back to chair pose, breathing, and coming back to forward fold. And coming up through a flat back, all the way up to Tadasana, and back into a little back bend, breathing in and out. Closing your eyes for a second, feeling your body. And you can roll those shoulders if you want. Okay, let's take those hands up one more time and do, it's another half moon actually. And you just go to one side, keeping the feet totally straight on the ground. Just the upper body. This is really good for insomnia, by the way. And then coming to the other side when you're ready. And coming back up. Go ahead and find a tree pose by bringing your leg up as far as you want. You can either have it down here, you can have it above the knee, but wherever you want that you feel balanced. And then let your arms either come down to the side or up. Keeping a little bit of a bend in that standing knee so that you're not locked out. Breathing. And then we're going to bring that knee forward. Grab the knee and bring it up to your chest if you can. And put it over the other leg and sit down into an eagle. Good job. Taking the same arm as leg to go underneath your other arm, or you could just do Anjali Mudra. Breath. Good job. Try to keep that spine straight and breathe. And then let the arms and legs slowly melt down gracefully. Come up into a little back bend again, breathing in and out. You're going to take your other leg and have it climb up as far as you want it to, or maybe you just want it down there. Either way, coming into tree pose, finding a balanced position. Breathing still. And then you can let your hands float down. And take your knee with your hands. Stretch it up to your chest for a second. And then sit down and put that leg over your other leg. Take that same arm as leg and wind it underneath the other arm for eagle. Take 3 deep breaths. Keep that spine straight. Letting your arms and legs slowly melt back down into Tadasana. And again, coming up, breathing in, little back bend. Coming down to Anjali Mudra, closing your eyes. Okay, let's see where we should go next. Okay, so let's take, there's a couple different places I could go, but let's take one leg back into crescent lunge. So your hips are both pointing forward and you're going to stretch out with your arms. And you're trying to get that heel down behind you. And then we're going to swing forward into Superman pose. Breathing in and breathing out back to crescent. Keeping those shoulders down. And then stay in Superman for a second and breathe. Should be a nice straight back from your head to your heel, and you're going to push into the front leg, bending that front leg to come up into a little warrior 3. Your leg behind you is pointing down, and your hips are pointing down towards the floor. Now let's come up as slowly as we can, bringing the leg down as the upper body comes up. See if you can stretch that leg through and grab it for a second in a little bit of a stretch, just for fun. Good job. And then just bring it to the side for a second, and then let it float down and breathe. Taking the other leg back to crescent lunge. We'll have a water break after this. So you are in crescent lunge, your shoulders are down, your hips are pointing forward, you're pushing back into that heel, but most of your weight is in the front leg. And you're gonna come down to Superman. And breathing. Good job. Keep those shoulders down though the arms are moving. And then you're going to take a moment of pause in Superman. Push into the front leg and let yourself come up to warrior 3. Coming up very, very slowly as you can, letting the head come up as the leg comes down. And then coming through into a little stretch in front, just like Shanna just did, and come to the side. And let it float down. And go ahead and get some water or do some authentic movement. Okay, we're gonna meet back in yogic squat, which is really fun if you're used to doing it. If you're not used to doing it, maybe it's not so fun, but coming down into a little, yeah, like a little sports squat first. You're going this way. You can find, if you can keep your heels on the ground and find your hands at undulate so that your shoulders and your elbows, excuse me, can push your knees out. So your knees go over your toes. Your toes should be going out, but not so much that it hurts, obviously. Take a deep breath. And then we're going to put our hands down and move our heels back to a parallel position. Big, nice, wide-legged forward fold. Okay, I don't think anybody wants to do headstand, right? No? Okay. So just go ahead and if you want to get your legs wider and get your head down on the ground, that's always a good thing without actually doing headstand. It gets all your circulation to your brain still. Take deep breaths. And then you can walk with your hands out to like a flat back so that your wrists are underneath your shoulders, like a flat back. Then see if you can shift all the way back into your legs and bring your arms up to your so that your hands are at your waist. And slowly rotate up. While you rotate your heels inward, maybe you heel toe in a little bit, and take a nice big plie. You can take the hands out to the cactus pose for goddess, and take 3 deep breaths. Good job, you guys. I'm gonna challenge you to do kind of a weird thing. I love it. It's a pretty weird one. But you can all you need to do is just try. It's definitely not something that you won't be able to do one stage of at least. Putting your hands down. See if you can put your hands behind your feet. And for a second, maybe just get some weight onto your hands instead of your feet. So when it's done, it's like your feet are totally off the floor, but you don't have to go there yet. Just getting a little bit of weight onto your hands. It's a spider type pose, what they call it for kids. And then coming back into your plie somehow and rolling up slowly. All right, let's bring one toe to the front and the other toe to the side and come into warrior 2. Just kind of off the mat. And then come back to peaceful warrior with that leg and front bent still. And then let that hand come around if you want. Rotate the entire body to the side and have a warrior one. Breathing, a back leg is straight, front leg is bent, front toe is going straight forward, back toe is going to the corner. And then we're going to see if we can rotate back around to goddess for a second. So you're facing the front again. Deep breath. Rotating the back foot to perpendicular with the front leg until you are in warrior two. And breathing. Keeping the shoulders down, looking out over the front hand. Coming back into a stretch, going backwards into peaceful warrior. Keep that leg bent in the front. And then bringing the arm back down. You can rotate the whole body to face the side into warrior one. Keep those hips going both to the same place, facing the same wall. Shoulders are down. Chin is tucked in. You can rotate back around to goddess in your own way. Take a deep breath. And do a little hula with your hips. This is always a little embarrassing if guys are in the class. They a lot of times find this to be embarrassing. Okay, go ahead and heel toe your legs back together. Let me see where we are. Okay. All right, we are pretty much at the end. Does anybody have any requests of things they really feel like they have to do before they Shavasana tonight? Or I can give you a moment to do whatever else your body needs to do. Let's do a little shoulder stretch at least. Go ahead and get on your knees and lift up to the sky with one arm. Breathing in, and then you can thread that arm through and take the other arm around the back. Take a deep breath. Letting the top arm slowly melt back down. Bringing the bottom arm up, slowly back up to the ceiling, breathing in. Finding the other side. Letting the top arm melt back down underneath your shoulder, pushing up so that you can take your other arm back up and stretching it back up to the ceiling. Back to tabletop. And I'm going to take my lights out a little bit. Go ahead and do anything else you need to do and find a comfortable Shavasana. You can put something underneath your knees if you'd like to. Up to you. I have been doing progressive relaxation during Shavasana lately, but it's totally legitimate to just have a silent Shavasana too. So if you guys have a preference, do tell me.
Yeah, we don't have a preference.
Okay, all right. So you always have the option of just lying there if you'd like. The other thing I will guide you through as we're lying down. Just letting the whole body melt into the floor and taking 3 deep breaths. On the next breath, see if you can really breathe in a whole bunch and hold the breath at the top, and then tense up all the muscles in your face as much as you can and hold that tension. Letting the rest of the body relax. And then let that breath and tension out to a halfway point. And then let that tension and breath all the way out into the floor. Feeling the relaxation you just created in your face. On the next deep breath, you're going to hold it at the top and tense up all the muscles in your upper body, your arms, your shoulders, your chest if you want to, and hold that tension and breath, letting the rest of the body relax. And then letting that tension and breath out to a halfway point and holding it. And then letting all the tension and breath all the way out into the floor and feeling the relaxation in your upper body. See if your shoulders and your elbows and your jaw can relax even more. And on the next deep breath, see if you can hold the breath at the top with all of the tension that you can muster in your buttocks, your legs, and your feet. And let the rest of the body relax. And then let that tension and breath out to a halfway point and see if you can hold it. And then let the breath and tension all the way out into the floor and feel the relaxation created in the lower body. And then on the next deep breath, seeing if you can tense up all the muscles in your abdomen and hold it. And then letting that tension and breath out to a halfway point. Letting the rest of the body relax. And then letting all the tension and breath out into the floor and feeling the relaxation in the abdomen. And then just scanning the body and seeing what places are tense. Are there any little micro tense places that can be relaxed further? Taking another deep breath. Maybe wiggling the fingers and toes a little bit. See if you'd like to find your hands and feet and stretch them away from each other. And then maybe hug your knees. And rolling onto one side. Feel the floor holding you. And taking another deep breath. You can either stay here or you can come up to sit. It is up to you. Those that are sitting can do a namaste bow to their source, their teacher, their higher self, great spirit, nature, universe, source. Well, God, goddess, guru. Namaste. Turn my light back on to say goodbye to you. Thanks for doing yoga with me. You did great, Cheyenne. You didn't seem like you had any problems with yoga tonight.
No, it was good. I just haven't stretched in a while, so I wasn't sure quite how stiff I was going to be. But
yeah,
my early yoga teachers were really, there was one specifically that was really focused on, kind of micro adjustments with posture.
Yeah.
I was feeling it was like riding a bike. It was like all those little cues, because when I was in Colorado, I must have practiced with her for pretty solid couple of years.
Yeah.
So I was feeling little things like, oh, right. It was because of that, then it felt more comfortable, even though it's been a while, to know that I could do it.
Yeah, it's like impossible to give that much detail on Zoom, especially for me, because I'm more of a physical person. So if I'm going to adjust somebody, I have to be able to at least show them, if not actually touch them,
Totally.
But I feel like I'm a really good teacher for like intermediate people, kind of, because explaining. Oh, okay. Somebody, Heart's Calling is calling me. I don't know why. Just for explaining, with my voice, how to get into position is really not my forte, really. So I like to try to show people, and then hopefully if they've already done it, they have some feeling of it. But I keep people moving at least, so.
Yeah, well, thank you. I really appreciate it. Katrine's been talking you up for a while. She's like, Cheyenne, you're going to feel so much better.
Yeah. I think I do use yoga in kind of like a circulation way, so that you feel like, you feel pretty good afterwards, at least. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Thanks, ladies, for joining me tonight.
Totally. I wanted to just offer as a kind of, thank you, if you're interested, just this past weekend, I had to figure out how to teach a class via Zoom, and a friend of mine helped me learn how to be able to share my music from my computer.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
I do that when I teach ballet on Zoom. I do my music on my computer, but for some reason with yoga, like I think it would just, I feel like this way it's just kind of like a really low thing in the background instead of being like right in your face, you know?
Sure.
But yeah, it is a tricky decision because, you know, nothing is really totally right. Because every time you talk, it'll take the volume down no matter what for the other thing, you know, so.
Yeah, so I just offer that. I'm super tech illiterate, and it was this whole little learning curve, but it sounds like you know how to do it. It's just a choice thing. So
yeah. It's like you go to your iTunes, but yeah. It's for some reason I've just been doing this for yoga lately, but you know, it's never. I can always try it the other way. I'm pretty flexible like that. I should.
Because you don't know what the levels are that your students are hearing with volumes. That was the thing.
I know it's so tricky, the volume thing, and some yoga students don't like to hear that much music, and then sometimes like there's been some classes where we were just like, you know, most of the people doing it with me knew what they were doing already, so we just kind of like were jamming the whole time with music, you know. That's fun for me, but it's like you can't talk as much, you know.
Thank you so much. It was really good.
Thank you. See you guys again.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.